Okay. So whenever there is an alarm coming up, then we can go for troubleshoot. That is what we are doing here. So for monitoring purpose, we are using PRTG. So here you can see the alarms, like which are the alarms currently available. If you click on this red, you will see all the alarms. These are the alarms currently available. And if you want to see the other sensors, then you can click on this green symbol. Those are the currently working sensors. That is, here you can see many of the ping sensors you can see here, all are up and okay. Okay, the status will be up. When the status goes down, it comes to this red. Okay, so for monitoring purpose, what we will be doing is we will be keeping this window here, and we will be clicking on the red one, and we will be monitoring this. Whenever a new down alarm comes, it will be displayed here. And now what we do is, when we can see two alarms here. If this alarm is notified to any of our engineers, then what we do is we will acknowledge these alarms. So for acknowledging it, we can right click on this alarm and acknowledge it. Okay, once we acknowledge the alarms will be moved to this one, the one which is next to red. That is the alarms which are acknowledged. Acknowledged means those alarms that are already reported to the engineers. If we click on the acknowledge alarms, we can see what are the alarms that are acknowledged. Okay, so these alarms are acknowledged, and that is informed to the engineers. So next thing is how this PRTG is getting connected to the device. If we are connecting a new device, then we have to configure SNMP. Okay, using SNMP packets only, this communication is happening between the device and PRTG server. If you want to add a new device, what we can do is we can go select the probe. Okay, local probe is for Chicago, and the other two probes are for India alarms, India devices. So if I'm going to create a new device in this, whichever probe you want to create it, you can go to that and scroll down. Then you can see all the devices connected in that. Okay, there will be a tree structure for that. And then if I want to create a new one in HiPOINT server, we can scroll down and we can see add device. There is an option add device. So if we click on add device, it will be asking us where we want to, under which tree we want to keep the device. So you have to select that device. So if we want to create something under your core device, 350 core device, you can select that core device there and you can click continue. So a sensor will be, or a device will be created under that core device. So if I'm going to create it there, then I will give continue. So instead of giving that, I will show with a Trivandrum device. So next thing is you have to give a name for that device. Normally here what we follow is we will be giving the location name. Okay, if you want, you can give the location name. See if it is Trivandrum. switch. You can give the device name there, then you have to give the device IP address. Whatever management IP you are configuring for the device, you have to configure it there. If you want, we can create a select an icon for that. Normally for RF, we will be using this icon, and for switch, normally we are using this one. So we can select an icon for that. And continue. Now you can see a new device will be created under NOC core device. Okay, so this is the new group we have created, new device group we have created. Now what we have to do is we have to add sensors in that. To add the sensor, you can click on add sensor, and the basic sensor you will be adding is ping sensor. So you can click on ping, then here select ping, then continue. Now you can see a ping sensor added under Trivandrum Cisco switch. So now PRTG will be starting to ping to the IP address, that is whichever management IP I have given, it will be starting to ping to that IP address. So it is 10.10.10.44, it will start to ping to that. We have to wait for some time. Okay, now it has started pinging. Then if you want to check the status of that ping, we can click on that ping and we will see overview, then live data, 2 days data, 30 days, 1 year data, and a historic data. All these things you can see over there. If you click on live data, you can see the millisecond it is taking to ping to that device, how much millisecond it is taking. Okay, so first time it was taking 2 millisecond, then 20 millisecond, like that. We can see the whether it is getting pinged or any variation, everything we can see there. Now we will check on your 350 core device, and if we are choosing WAN side device, we can see 4 sensors created. Okay, one is ping sensor, that is the main sensor you will be adding, and if we check on the ping sensor, you can see a live data. Okay, it is getting in 0 milliseconds, it is getting ping is getting in 0 millisecond, and at times it has gone up to 11 millisecond also. Okay, so we can see the live data here, and if you want to see 2 days data, you can click on this 2 days tab. So in 2 days tab, when you're checking for 2 days tab, you can see some red lines over there. So these red lines means those times there were the ping went down. Okay, so we can see from 4 a.m. within 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. multiple times it got down. So if you want to verify that, we can go for historic data for the getting the actuals. Okay, so from click here on historic data, and you can select the date and time. We want to check from 4 a.m. We can select the start time and end time, and then we can select the average interval time. Now currently I am setting for 60 minutes, and so this is the historic time it has given us. And okay, so here what I have done is I have taken an interval of 1 hour. 1 hour interval only I have taken. So if I am taking a 1 hour interval and checking the status, I can see that there is a ping request down here. You can see some red here, but it is not shown in the graph. Okay, so it is not shown in the graph, that because it will be taking an average. Okay, when it calculates an average for one hour, it won't be showing the accurate data. So if you want to see an accurate data, then instead of going for 1 hour, we have to reduce the average interval. So if you reduce the average interval to 1 minute, you can see a different graph. Okay, so the same time only I have taken, like from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. and here also I have taken from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. but the graph is different. So if you want an accurate data, you have to go for lesser average interval. Okay, if you want check for lesser interval only, you will be getting the accurate data. So if here we can see when it went down, when the ping got lost. From 6 a.m. within 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. we got multiple ping alarms. Even here you can scroll down and see the accurate, like here only. Okay, from 6:18 to 6:19 you got ping drops. Then from 6:29 to 6:30 some ping drops were there. Okay, so to get the accurate data, you have to minimize the average interval. Otherwise, you will be getting something like this. There won't be an accurate data and you won't be able to troubleshoot. So from this, we can get the live utilization, then 2 days data, 3 days data, and if you want to uh, check the data of a particular time period, then you can go for historic data also. Then the next sensor added under this WAN router is internet. Okay, so under internet you can see the traffic details. Okay, if you are going to check the live data of this sensor, you can see the traffic details And here you can see red will be downtime, then the green one will be traffic in, and the blue one or the gray one will be traffic out. So the graph one which is below, that is the gray one, okay, that will be your traffic out, and the one on top is traffic in. So if we see here, you can see at around 5 p.m. it has reached almost 500 mbps. So if we are connecting, if you are checking a link for which is having a 1 gbps speed, and in the and many of the customers are complaining that they are getting slow speed, one thing you have to check is whether the uplink is having the that much of bandwidth. Okay, if it is 1 gig line and it has reached 1 gig, that we can check in this PRTG graph. Okay, if it is a 1 gig line and it has reached 1 gig, then there will be congestion. So if many of the customers are having traffic congestion, then the main thing you have to check is whether the traffic has reached its limit, or if I have taken 5G connection from our uplink provider and it has reached 5G, then you will face this connectivity issues. So you can check if there are multiple clients are complaining this, then you can check the graph. Rashmi, which one is our uplink sensor?
Yeah, uplink sensor.
I think this is the one.
Yeah.
Hurricane.
Yeah, it should be on the
Ubiquiti Edge Infinity. Okay, so if we are taking this UBND Edge router, you can see Hurricane electric network and internet quotient is there. And the current traffic, if you want to check the current traffic that is going via Hurricane, how much traffic is going via Hurricane, you can click on this, go for the live data. There you can see this. Okay, so traffic out is around 1 gig, and traffic in is around 2.5 gig. Okay, so this is where you can check how much traffic is currently passing through your uplink. If you want to check for quotient, then you can click on this internet quotient, and from there you can take live utilization. You can check this. If one of the interface like quotient or Hurricane goes down, that also you can see here. You can verify whether the traffic has come down like to 0. If the traffic has come down to 0, that means something has happened to Hurricane or quotient. That also you can check. Sometimes you won't, if only if the interface goes down, only you will be getting an alarm here. If the interface is not going down, you won't be getting an alarm. Interface alarm you won't be getting, but you can check the traffic in this. If the traffic has come down to 0, that means something has happened to that link. So if you want to configure, we did the configuration for ping alarm. How to create the ping alarm we did, but if you want to configure this traffic monitoring, some interface for traffic monitoring, it is a different process. Instead of going for ping, you have to select SNMP. So here Trivandrum Cisco switch we have done ping, And if you want to add one more sensor to monitor the uplink, then we can do add sensor. You can use SNMP. Instead of going for ping, you can use SNMP. So if you select SNMP, then you will be getting SNMP traffic sensor here. You can add that. Click on SNMP traffic. If you are selecting SNMP traffic, then it will be creating an SNMP link from the switch to from the PRTG to the switch, and it will be showing all of the interface details that is available in the switch. You will be getting it like this. So these details PRTG is taking from the switch. So normally all of the devices, if it is in a company, no one will be enabling SNMP traffic in any of the devices for security purpose. Because if you are enabling SNMP in a switch, then what happens is, if we are having the SNMP credentials, we can take all the details from the switch. Okay, all of the details in the switch we can capture it through this SNMP, like what we are seeing here. These are the details in the Cisco switch 10.10.10.23. This has been taken through this SNMP. So link 1, the description, you can see the connected device, whether it is connected or not, the speed of the interface, all these details you can get it through SNMP. So if I want to monitor uh, port number 25, I can click on port number, okay, port number 24. I can click on port number 24 and click continue. If I click continue, then I can see a new sensor that is getting added, like what we saw for Hurricane Electric and Cogent. Okay, it will be created like this. So this is how you will be creating an interface, like you will be creating a sensor for monitoring the bandwidth utilization. If you want just ping, then you can go for ping. That is, it won't be using the SNMP. For ping, it won't be using the SNMP, only the ICMP traffic it will be passed. For monitoring the utilization, the bandwidth, you have to use SNMP. Then we can go to settings. So here you can see some settings. So there is something like this: show alarm when disconnected and ignore disconnected status. By default, it will be in this one, ignore disconnected status. So is ignore disconnected status means you won't be getting any alarms even when it is getting disconnected. So if you want to get an alarm when the sensor get disconnected, or if the interface goes down, then you have to select show alarm when disconnected. Only if you have selected this, you will be getting an alarm in PRTG. Otherwise, you will see the sensor as up. Always it will be up, like green will be there. If you want it to be displayed, if it is going down and you want the alarm to come up, then you have to select show alarm when disconnected. So this is the main thing you have to check while creating a sensor. Also, you can see some configurations here, you can see something called as access rights. Normally, the access right is taken from the root. Okay, it is inherited from the root. If you having a different credentials, SNMP credentials configured in the switch, then you can if you have a different SNMP credentials, then you can create it here. Like here, for this particular switch, I have created a different credential. So I have mentioned it as credential for SNMP, then selected the password, everything I have created here. Okay. The same password I have to use in switch side also. So when we configure the switch, there will be something called SNMP community string. The same community string you have to use it here also. Otherwise, the communication won't come up. Hello. Hello. Rashmi, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, give me a second. So, guys, this is our system. Local probe is what is named on PRTG for our network. So, if you go in here, you can see different hubs mentioned. So, first of all, our backbone providers are Cogent and Hurricane Electric. These are the two backbone providers we have. And then we have our main hubs. So 350 East Mac and 350 Mac and 330 Saprabha Sharama core hubs. And again, we have other hubs. So basically, we have our main buildings feeding other buildings. So many of our buildings act as hubs as well. So all these, you can see all the hubs listed, and under each hub, you can see each buildings that comes under each hub. All the buildings are added under the hub, and if you look further, you can see all the devices under each building. So right now, just to show you an example, we have one of our switch that is fluctuating, and that device has been fluctuating on PRTG. It has been coming up on the alarms list. And if you look at it, it's dot 12 at 5550 South Dorchester. Uh, the switch is dot 25. That switch has been fluctuating for some time. If you look at the 2-day graph, you can see this. Yeah, it started fluctuating from today morning, 12 a.m. And you can see the graph on the graph itself. You can see the all the spikes indicating the fluctuation. If you look at the data also, you can clearly see the fluctuations here. Now, if you look at this device, it comes under, if you can actually follow the tree on the top. The device comes under 5550 South Dorchester VLAN 204, and that is under 5550, the hub 5550 South Dorchester, and that comes under the hub 330 North Wabash. So that's the tree chain or the chain for this particular device. So if we go to 5550 South Dorchester, that's the building VLAN, we can see, first of all, in such cases, we will try to see if there is some way to reboot the device. So if you go in here, we can see all the devices under the in this building. And normally, our buildings, not always, we are trying to avoid the web power switch, but some buildings we still have the web power switch, which is added to the PRTG, where we can log into the web power switch to um, remotely reboot the switch. So I see two web power switches here, but out of that, one is, it's mentioned as no longer working or paused. So maybe this WPS was disconnected and it's not at the building anymore. The other WPS, which is active, is here. So this is the IP for that WPS. So basically what I will do is I will try to log into that WPS and see if the switch that is having issue is within this WPS. If it is within the WPS, I will log in. This is the interface for the WPS. So I will log in and try to reboot it from here. I'll switch it off, and after a couple of minutes, I'll turn it on to reboot it from here. But as you see, .25 switch is not here on this WPS. We have other devices here, but .25 switch is not here. So since it is fluctuating, it's coming back up in intervals, I can also try to log into the switch and reboot it from the switch itself. But I have been trying it for some time. I'm not able to reboot it. So here, I'm just, I'll be having Hamid go there to take care of this issue. We may have to replace the switch or check if there is any power issue or anything that is causing this issue. But this is something we can try. We can see from the initial level of identifying the issue, like such an issue is even happening. That's something we can identify using the PRTG system. So that's something in the long run, Roman and Rocky, you will have to look at the devices through PRTG to understand issues and see if there is any, as a part of your troubleshooting or as a part of being a on-call tech to resolve an outage. You may have to use PRTG to look at the issue and understand the issue, and identify the IPs of switches, or if you can identify if there's a WPS connected. Again, if you look at buildings that have radios, you for example, give me a second, let me check. So if you look at this one particular building, 1400 North Lakeshore Drive, our feed is through radio. It's from Sandberg. Sandberg is the feed building for 1400 North Lakeshore Drive. And if you take the VLAN on PRTG, you can see that the radios will be listed there. There'll be two radios. One will be the feed radio, and the other will be the radio on site. So if you look at the radios, if you want to identify which radio is at which location, the way we name the radios is to make it easier for us to identify it. Always the building address that is mentioned first will be the location of the radio. So this radio, it is mentioned AF24 1360 to 1400. So this particular radio, it is at 1360. This radio is the feed radio. It is located at 1360 North Sandwell. And if you look at the other radio, it will be mentioned as 1400 from 1360. But so this will be located at 1400. So, Roman, can you tell me if the first radio, the one at 1360, is down? What does that mean? Which,
Oh,
is the
sorry,
feed radio
I'm
down?
kind of
Or
driving right now. I'm kind of driving right now.
okay,
I don't see your screen. I will watch recording
okay,
later.
okay. So if the feed the radio at 1360 is down here, that means that the feed location, the issue is stemming at the feed location. And if if that is the case, all the devices will be down for this location. The other radio and all the devices will be down if the feed location is down. Now, if the issue is not stemming from the feed location, and if it is stemming from the other location, the feed radio will show as up. The device at the feed radio will report as up, but any devices in the building, in the other building, will be reporting down. So in such cases, the first thing we try to do is we will try to reboot the radio at the feed location to see if the radio at the other location will relink. So that's something we do. But if the feed location is up, the radio at the feed location is up, and the other radio is showing as down, normally the issue will be stemming from the building, the whichever building we are feeding it to. So these are also things that you can identify from PRTG. Again, we will have a bit more detailed session regarding this topic, but this was just covering the basics. We will have a bit more detailed session regarding PRTG and also different um, identifying different issues and outages and everything. For now, we are wrapping up this session. And anyone has any questions or anything related to this? Roman, Rocky, Mo? Guys, do you have any questions?
Right now, I can't tell you we have questions, but until we use it, like when we use it in real life and we're trying to see the issues happen, this time I can't ask. But right now, the screen is small and I'm driving, I'm focusing on the cars in front of me. So I can't tell you
Yeah,
what exactly happening here.
Yeah, guys, if you
understood.
got any
So,
questions, let me know. I'll fix it. I can fix it. Whatever it is, let me know and I'll show you how.
Okay. Thanks.
yes. So if you have any questions, you can approach Mo. Mo already knows the system and he knows it completely on how to add the sensors or check out the issues or everything he knows. Or you can also approach Jay when he is back if you have any questions related to this. But I will highly suggest you to start using this system at least to understand how it works and how get used to it, because definitely you will have to use this going forward. And when you are on tickets, or if you're looking into any issues, rather than always calling Mo and Jay for help, you yourself can log in and check out the issue and try to understand it yourself in such cases.
Okay.
So make sure
Important.
that you log in. Yeah.
Don't erase or add things without telling Rashmi, because it will be problematic if you erase something or stop a sensor without, telling her. Just try not to, do play with it, but try not to add without telling her, because it will be problematic later on.
Yes. Don't
Just
add
in
or
case,
edit
please.
anything. Yeah. Don't, when you access it, don't add or edit anything without any permission from me or Jay or Mo. But make sure that you log in and look at all the sensors and try to understand how the network tree works, and how the switches are, everything is listed in there, how you can check the data, everything. Try to log in and look yourself. So when there is a situation that you really need to look into an issue, you can do it yourself without anyone else's help. That's something something I think it's a basic requirement for you when you are working in field. You should be able to look at the issues and try to make a judgment yourself as well. Okay.
Okay.
So check it out. And let Mo know, Jay know, if you have any doubts or questions. And we will wrap up this session here. We will do the next session on Friday. We will let you know the topic. Normally, we do have a couple of topics that we discussed. One was Mo brought up the Mac flapping issue, and Jay also suggested switch configuration topic. We will see what we can cover this Friday. I will let you know in advance what we will be doing on this Friday. Yeah. Okay, guys, and you guys have a great day ahead. Have a wonderful day at Skybridge.
Okay, but
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sister.